You're live. Very cool. We are live here. Everybody, happy Labor Day. This podcast is brought to you by Zephyr Hills. Water from a pure place. Let's get right into it. I have a little nectarine, and I don't know why. It's like the weirdest damn nectarine. I thought nectarines had like a yellow center. This is like white. It's very weird. Not really sure I enjoyed it. Hope everybody's having a great Labor Day. I just got back from St. Augustine with the wife and a couple of friends. And one thing that I just cannot seem to remind myself of when you go out into the sun, don't wear your hat backwards. Let me explain why. Not sure if any of you fine people could actually see that, but yeah, I now have sunburn here and here, but not right here. So it is what it is. Let's move forward and let's actually talk about that week that was. If you guys are wondering why I'm keeping my volume down and not being so excited, it's because apparently the sun just beats the shit out of women more than it does men. And the wife is back in the back room taking a little nappy poo. All right, so week that was came and went. Week 20, the last week of the regular season. Sorry, I had to take a pause there and realize that this is Josh's week all day long. He's now beating me 11 to nothing. This is awesome. It's all good though. I never figured that I would actually make it very far in the playoffs, but I did feel like I had enough to get me there. Speaking of there, let's get there. Week 20. Let's recap this bad boy. We had a matchup of the week last week, and it was against Mandalorians and Benchwarmers. This one started out to put Josh into a little bit of a panic mode, and he did end up losing, but he did not lose by enough. Mandalorians just could not get it done. 27 runs. They tied in the runs. Mandalorians took home runs, RBIs, stolen bases. He did not take the average and the OBP. So, and in the pitching stats, Benchwarmers blew him away by strikeouts only by 2 wins, lost in the ERA and the whip. They tied in quality starts and saves plus holds went to Mandalorians. Mandalorians is carrying down with him Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu, Shohei Otani, the batter version, Bryce Harper, and Anthony Rizzo. And then the pitchers that he's bringing with him Lance Lynn, Pablo Lopez, Julio Urias. And he recently just picked up Jack Flaherty. So, having said that, Josh had a little bit of a panic, and yet he finds himself in the playoffs. Moving on to another very good matchup that will actually repeat itself. Trippin' Billies versus Eric swinging low. This one went 5-3 in favor of Shane. Can he continue the momentum? They tied in home runs and stolen bases. This was a very close matchup between these two gentlemen. Trippin' Billies or Shane took 3 of the 6 batting categories, leaving only one for Eric to grab. Pitching stats went Eric's way with 2 of them, 6 wins, 66 strikeouts, but the ERA and the whip went to one Mr. Shane. A lot of complaining, a lot of talking, a lot of bullshit, a lot of banter. It's why we're here in the first place. And we'll get to hear more, see more for another week because these two gentlemen are facing off again. Eat My Shorts and Rayford Peaches. This was a battle for ninth and 10th place, and ninth place went to Rayford Peaches. Big Bad Vlad took out Red Sox Nation 7-5. And myself and number one, Mr. Walker, facing off for a third and final time this season. And much to my surprise, Saturday and Sunday brought about a nice little turn of events. I beat 6-4, one Walker. I took every single batting stat, giving me my 6 points, tied in wins and tied in saves plus holds. Quite crazy how turning that around and turning that around being my mentality of grabbing relief pitchers. Michael Fulmer got me a win and a save plus hold, not in the same game, but in the same week. Therefore, eliminating a point going Rally Monkeys way twice. So he would have gotten all 6 of the points from pitching had I not simply had Michael Fulmer, who is a relief pitcher for the Minnesota Twins, in my staff. Quite crazy. But we move forward. 6-4 was the final score. I beat him every single regular season game, 3-0. But it didn't mean enough because Rally Monkeys is taking a nice little break. Let's look at now the week that we are already balls deep in. 4 teams. They are facing off to try to compete against one Big Bad Vlad or Rally Monkeys, who are both sitting comfortably with a bye this week. Also, 4 other teams are down in the consolation bracket, also taking a break from reality that is fantasy baseball. Mandalorians, Eat My Shorts, Rayford Peaches, and Red Sox Nation. Next week, the matchups will face Big Bad Vad against either myself or Josh, and Trippin' Billy's Swinging Low will face off against one Walker. So it's very nice for the very top 2 teams to always know that they are at least guaranteed a top 4 spot. Let's get into what already has happened in the championship bracket. We'll start with the game that is an ass whooping. If the score was to end now, 11-0, 7 runs on a Monday for one Josh, 2 home runs, 4 ribbies. He's batting 476 with a 542 OBP. It's your week, Josh. Soak it in because George Springer and Anthony Santander are carrying you to victory. This is awesome. What do we have here? 22nd. What is 22nd? 22nd what, Walker? What are we talking about? What is 22nd? You're out there. I know. What is 22nd? I don't know what he's talking about. Shane is typing. Juan Soto. Oh, his season rank is 22nd. Okay. There we are. Now we know what he's talking about. That's in the chat for those of you watching and listening at home. And look at Joe Musgrove went 7 2/3. No, he went 6 2/3, but one Clay Holmes went 1 inning, a lot of 8 strikeouts, 2.70 for old Kevin Gossman. But yeah, nice little start to the week. Happy Labor Day, Josh, coming out swinging, getting 2 home runs. Got Alejandro Kirk not playing in the second game. Jorge Mateo not playing in the second game. Got a home run from Aaron Judge, and already out of Josh's mouth is quit pitching to that bitch. Don't help Casey have any type of competition this week. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, 11-0, Josh. He's looking for the big win so he can get the Franklin back on his fucking shelf, mantle, or put in his closet. Eric's already complaining. Great job. 1 for 10, he says. Happy day for old Mr. Eric Croft against Trippin' Billy's. You guys are having the day looking like my day, and yet you're not facing off against the red hot bench warmers. All right. So this week we are down by 1. Yes, that's right. Down by one. One move. One move. Be very specific in your delivery. Are you going to wait till the end of the week, you three other teams, and make your one move? Or are you going to need to pick somebody else up now? What will it be? Who will it be? I do not know. I already made my move. Woke up at 3 a.m. this morning to pick up one Johnny Cueto. Because guess what? Johnny Cueto is the man. No, he is not. But when you look at all the other pitchers that are out there, well, I guess you got to make moves where it counts. So he's the one guy that hopefully might be able to project me into getting some sort of stat moved in my favor, whether it be wins, drop an ERA, or whip. That's about all I picked him up for because he is not going to help me out in the strikeouts. So these are your matchups. We have four this week, myself versus Josh and Eric versus Shane. One thing is actually, well, it's factual. There are two teams in the top six that are competing for a playoff that have never once written their name on the Franklin. And that is myself or Nick. Nick sits second place. He was only, if I read it correctly, 3 games ahead of myself and Eric, 5 games ahead of Shane. So it was very close for that bye week. Very, very close. Now, Eric or Walker won it convincingly with a 10.5 game lead over Nick. Sorry, drew a blank there. But that's really all I have to say. This is the week. It's kind of I don't know. There really is no, if you lose this week, what really are you playing for? Okay, so you might be playing for third place. Yay. What's out there? There's not a bigger can of beans for third place. There's no reason to really, it's just for bragging rights, I guess. But who remembers third place from last season? I don't. I know Eric remembers he was first because he's got the Franklin. So the other thing that really sucks about this week in particular is this is obviously fantasy football week. So you have this app. Well, if your app is anything like mine, normally you get two little icons of the trophy symbol from Yahoo Sports to notify you of when something either good, bad, or has happened in your baseball team. So, for instance, while I'm out on the schooner in St. Augustine, I see a nice little bloop or two bloops, and I scroll down and see, ooh, and Aaron Judge hit me a nice little home run there. Later on in the day, I see bloop bloop, two little icons. Alan Lazard is questionable. I don't fucking care. Okay. This is still baseball season, people. I don't need to see the little icons confusing my brain that I might be seeing something exciting. Hello. Okay. Yahoo, pick something else, even though you're the same app. That's really all I got. Not a lot of energy today. Feeling a little depleted myself. The sun beats you down. I work in the sun, beats me down. But that's really it, Walker. I appreciate the 3 victories that you gave me during the regular season. Time will tell if I can meet you in the ship. But as of right now, not the case. 11-0 is an ass whooping way to start the week. Not really sure I'll have a resurgence like I did last week to actually pull me back into winning. Well, yeah, look at the time. 14.5 minutes, probably shortest podcast of the week. There's only 4 teams competing, 2 teams waiting to see who will they play. Eric and Shane, you guys enjoy the banter back and forth. Josh, enjoy your victory. I will see whoever it is down and out in the 5th place matchup. Is it would be next week, right? Like 5th and 6th also competes, so the top 6 team, and that you go ahead and decide who wins 5th next week. Is that how it goes? I can't remember. But we also have to quite possibly be sending one can of beans up north because Jordan may actually pull a rabbit out of his ass, or we may have come here. Ray has got consolation prize written all over her, so who knows? My bet is Scott. I think Scott could actually pull that victory out. I mean, he was in, contention for a while there, and I think he's got a pretty good roster, hitting wise. So might see about having to get an old can of beans to one Scott Pokenis. But time will tell. We will see how the cookie crumbles. But this episode is in the books. I will hopefully see you guys next week. Next week, all things are pointing to a new backdrop because tomorrow, no, Wednesday, we move into our new residence. So soak it all in because we'll have something new for you. Yay. I know you guys are super excited. So, possibly for the last time from Grand Reserve Condominiums, I'm Casey. Have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. May you not labor on this day. Have a good one. Bye bye. See you later.